This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 2. And he cried with a mighty strong voice, saying, Babylon is falling. Salaki, meant to say, Babylon the Great is falling, and it's become a habitation of devils and the whole of every foul spirit and a cage and every unclean, full, hateful bird. Jeremiah 51 and 8. Babylon is suddenly falling, and is cried out for her pain. Take bond for her pain, if so she may be healed. Jeremiah 51 and 9, and it reads, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsaken her, and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgments reach unto heavens, and the lift up even to the sky. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson for In the News of December 16, 2022. On this Friday afternoon at 5:33 p.m. Central Standard Time. And this is a news article from CNBC.com. Was published by Sarah Min and Alex Hera. And this was updated Friday, December 16th, 2022 at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads, Dow Jones closes more than negative 200 points lower, falls for a second straight week as recession fears continues to grow. And it says stocks dropped Friday, building on their year-end sell-off as fears grow over a recession taking place as the Federal Reserve continues to raise rates. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost negative 281.76 points, or 0.85%, to 32,920.46 points. The S&P 500 fell 1.11% to 3,852.36 points. Meanwhile, the tech-heavy Nasdaq Composite declined 0.97% to 10,700.41 points. The index notched a second consecutive week of losses. The S&P 500 fell 2.8% for the week, and putting its December losses at 5.58% in hopes for a year-end rally fizzle. The Dow Jones and Nasdaq slipped 1.7% and 2.7% respectively. And that's the statistic for the Dow Jones Industrial as for today. It went negative 281.76, negative 0.85% of a 2-day loss. And this is right, because they had those losses, I believe, Tuesday, Wednesday, and into Thursday as well too, now into Friday of this week. So you had like a 3-day losing streak of the markets for this week, with the continuing Federal Reserves increasing the tax hike, which happened, they made that announcement like 2 days ago, to 0.5%, and that's been the federal tax rates that have been the highest since 2007. With the increasing of the mild recession, the mild recessions, as they continues to fear over a recession, as they continues to tackle the inflation. That's why the Federal Reserve continues to raise the federal tax hike as it is right now. And then at the same time, you have a recession, economic recession entering in 2023 as well too. And then you're gonna have a potential of the markets might continue on to 2023, potentially might decline, along with the current recession that's being signaled from these economic experts. And it says the trading was especially volatile Friday with a large amount of options expiring. There were 2.6 trillion of index options expiring. The highest amount relative to the size of equity marketing is nearly 2 years, according to the Goldman Sachs. At the session lows, the Dow was down as much as negative 547.63 points before paring back to some of those losses. The sell-off was a broad base with three stocks falling for every vanisher at the New York Stock Exchange. At one point, there was 10 S&P 500 names in positive territory. The real estate, consumer, discretionary, discretionary, meant to say Slovakia, sectors were the biggest laggers, downing nearly 3% and 1.7 respectively. It says stocks fell this week in the wake of a Fed's 50 base interest rate hike on Wednesday, the highest rate in 15 years. The central bank said it would continue to hike rates through 2023 to 5.1% and larger figures than previous expected. Following the policy update, the Dow Jones was down 142 point on Wednesday and plunged on Thursday of 764 points and declining further on Friday. Right, that's 3 day loss. At the beginning of the week, we had a hope giving the very soft CPI number that could expect the Feds and maybe other central banks of the world to be less hawkish. Woken Capital founder Kim Ford said, but because they didn't, and they have some stern words for investors and consumers alike that were really focusing on getting the inflation down quickly, that has taken away a lot of our hope for a softer end for its head. So as you see, the stocks fell once again in all three categories: the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, industrial, along with the Dow Jones. They all fell today. So this is a third straight loss of these uh, markets crash once again for the third straight day of this week in December. And they said they was kind of hoping for a good solid gain of the markets in the month of December, and it haven't been that good so far. Due to the fact the federal tax hikes increasing from the Federal Reserve, they increasing that as they continue to tackle the inflation, even though the inflation is somewhat slowing down, but expect to see the inflation rise in the year 2023 as it continues on with this trend, along with the consumer spending and gas prices continue to goes up as well too. As you know, previously we mentioned before, doing lessons on this, you're gonna have the markets, the markets, the stock markets, it react what's is going on globally, financially, or an expectation of what the Federal Reserve is going to say, if it's going to be good or bad, or a good solid gain in the markets, or a positive gain, you know. So the stocks and market, they react what's going on globally, financially, data statistics, and from economic experts or Federal Reserves. Either they're going to raise the tax hike, or if it's going to be a positive or a good meeting, you know, positive or a negative meeting. So it's a balanced scale, you know. So as we see right now, you know, you have the stock markets crash once again for the third straight time.
And what do you mean when they say you got 7 notifications?
All 7 notifications. I think you got to read them. You got to read them. That's what that was. It's coming from the racing game.
No. When I turn it off, it says the notices, it says 7 right there on the side of it.
Oh, that was probably been like recently achievements or something like that.
You
Yeah.
have to look at it.
Right. Okay.
And let you know.
All right. Salakia, I was speaking to my step pops, but yeah, hey, as we see, this recent news just came out after 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time because the stock market exchange over there in New York City, and you have this news right here that I just brought out to back it up with the scriptures as well too on the economic business sense, you know, as it sees right here, the Dow Jones closes more than negative 200 points lower, falls for the second straight week as recession fears grows, you know. So, hey, we're gonna see this trend definitely gonna continue, you know. Hey, modern day Babylon is falling on an economic scale, you know, with the tackling with the inflation, the cost of living, gas prices, oil productions, consumer spending as well too. You know, all of those categories going to continuing leading all the way into 2023. Definitely at the beginning of 2023, we're going to see, you know, what the markets, the stock exchange, what's it's going to react to, if it's going to be a positive gain or a negative gain, you know. But we still have like a couple of weeks left in December, so we'll see how it plays out. But at the current moment right now, you're still dealing with the inflation, the cost of living, the oil prices, the gas prices, production as well too. So, you know, the Federal Reserve continues to raise the interest tax rates to ease the inflation. Cause that then it as they have a warning at the same time too of a potential recession entering 2023, and potentially during these next couple of weeks, in the last couple of weeks of this year 2022. We'll see how it plays out, where this trend continues, you know, as they continues to battle with the inflation, consumer spending, oil prices, consumer prices as well too. So that's an increasing, continuing sign of modern day Babylon is spiritually modern day Babylon is falling economically, as we see these things continuing on with the markets and the finances, you know, in that category. So with that, hope this sit-down lesson was edifying for In the News of December 16th, 2022 at 5:45 p.m. Central Standard Time on this Friday afternoon. And with that, I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, preaching His word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And then till next time, I will say shalom and a ball.